Good morning, everybody. Thanks for showing up so early. It's interesting to see you all so spread out. It's kind of different, but thanks for being here this morning. I would like to thank you all for attending the annual Boys and Girls Club Back at Kid Breakfast. My name is Mike Williams, and I'm this year's board president. Please stand if you are able for a blessing offered by Father Joseph Collins from Holy Apostles Orthodox Christian Church of Cheyenne, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Lord Jesus Christ, our God, bless these your servants who have endeavored to back children here in Cheyenne, that they may know the love of others. May these people in this room and all the benefactors at home joining us continue to back these children and be examples of the love of Jesus Christ, your Son, and bless this food by your grace and all those here with us, that you may be glorified to the ages of ages. Amen.
And now the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Father Joseph, for your inspirational words. They're very appropriate as we celebrate what the club means to youth we serve. Since the founding of our great movement in 1860, clubs have been a vital part of the American fabric, shaping, changing, and saving lives in service to young people, their families, and our nation. In the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Cheyenne Club has offered educational support, free meals, and mentoring to members, providing a crucial safety net for youth and our community. It's been really amazing to watch our staff work and change how they do business every day to support our members, and really proud of what the staff's been able to do with that. So, as you all might know, I'm a banker. I go to the bank every day. But you know what makes bankers really nervous? Masks. It's true. Yeah. So, I'm going to do something. I know you're all eating, but I want everyone to put their mask on if you would. This is a very unique time in the world, and I want to get a picture of it. I might have to have Mona or somebody come show me how to use my phone. Okay, this is going to be one of those panoramics if I can get this to work. So be patient with me. Ready? Guns up, that's fine. I don't care. You're good. Okay. Okay, thanks for that. That was not on the script, by the way. So as we know, getting up early for breakfast means you are ready to get your day started off right. We would like to give a shout out to our virtual attendees over there on the camera. Hello, everybody. We hope you're enjoying your breakfast along with us as we sit here and enjoy our breakfast. As I just mentioned, as all things in 2020, things are just a little bit different this year, and that's probably a interesting way to even explain it. But everything is different this year, and nothing seems normal. But you may notice on your tables that there's no giving envelopes. That doesn't mean there's not an opportunity to give. If you'd like to write a check to the club this morning, there's going to be a box in the back, and Laura Malone, our director of finances, will be able to accept that check for you. Or if you'd like to support the club through the text format, you simply text BAK 2020 to 76278. And there is information on your tables, so you can make that donation through the text option. Thank you for joining me and becoming the part of the lives of our youth here in the community and making a meaningful investment today. Like I mentioned, I'm a banker, and I always look for a good return on investment, and we believe that for every dollar that's donated, $9.60 gets returned to the clubs. So all of those donations are really leveraged to provide a strong impact to the youth in our community. So again, thank you for supporting the club. I always look at it as, this is your club. This is our club. This is the community's club. And the community saw a need for this club several years ago, and thanks to some great leadership that we had back in those days. But this is our club, and our members really get to benefit from that. And so thank you again for your support over the years. One of the club's priority areas is character and citizenship, where the youth learn the importance of giving back to their community. Just like all of you give back to make the club a great place for kids, I want to extend a warm appreciation to our Back a Kid Breakfast presenting sponsor this morning, Spradley Bar Toyota. You might have seen the vehicles sitting out front. It's kind of nice, but you guys parked on the sidewalk. I don't know, did anybody notice that it was a lot easier to park this year? I don't know. We hope that's not the case next year, but anyway, there was room for cars for sure. And then, especially under the direction of Boys Club alum Tony O'Brien. I don't know if Tony's here this morning. He's working, of course, but we want to thank Little America for their support and for the great breakfast and everything they've done for us through the years. So thank you, Little America. I also want to thank a couple, and one of them is not here, just half the couple is here. So, but a couple that exemplifies the code of the West, Doug and Susan Samuelson from the Warren Ranch. Your continued support of the club and our vision is greatly appreciated. Thanks, Susan. So the direction of our club is set by the board of directors. Many of them are joining us today here in person and some virtually. Now we're in our 23rd year of operation. Our current and past directors have provided a safe place for kids. Safety has continued to be a priority for the club. Executive committee members Jim Hastings and Dustin McKen have led the charge for the club safety at the national and state level. Additionally, Brian Cox, sitting over here, hi Brian, is our safety committee chair, and this has really been a significant priority for us for many years, and it still is today. Ronnie Lopez, James Bowers, Mike Chauncey, and Ken Dugas all serve as officers. Mary Augustin, Chad Craig, and Toby Grapes are other committee chairs. And we round out our 19-member board with excellent directors Sharon Cutelier, Steve Dan, Jason Fletcher, Jonath Jackson, Stephen Johansson, Mark Parsons, Kim Sutherland, and Courtney Thompson. They all help move this organization forward, so thank you for being part of the team. So I also would like to personally thank 3 dedicated members who transitioned off of our board within the last year. Michelle Dehoff, I saw her walk in. You know what I love about Michelle? There's a lot of things I love about Michelle. I get to work with Michelle every day. But every time a Youth of the Year speaks, she cries. So we're Riley, you're around here somewhere. You just look over that direction. You're going to see exactly what happens when you're speaking. No, Michelle's one of the most caring people I know, so thanks for all your support. And then I know we have Angie Beveridge and Rocky Clark. They're virtual with us, so I'm going to wave at them and tell them thank you. Their support and effort and volunteer time has been crucial to everything that we accomplish at the club. So thanks to all of our outgoing board members. So the board adopted a strategic plan for 2019 to 2021, and we felt that it was imperative to look forward as an organization and also formally recognize people who have made significant contributions over the years to the club. Thus, we created and invited some initial members to what is now called the Founders Society. In 2019, we honored the inaugural members of the Founders Society, Mike Stanfield and Sam Galiotis. So please help me welcome to the stage former club board president and Founders Society member Sam Galiotis, who will present our 2020 Society recognition.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning online. We love you even though you're not here. I would have to say that I'm truly honored today to be making this introduction of both Anthony and Barbara Andrikopoulos to the Boys and Girls Club Founders Society. I think last year when I had the opportunity to speak, I related a little bit of a story about the Andrikopouloses last year, and I'd like to cover that because it's very appropriate right now. But about, in between the period of 10 to 15 years ago, the Cheyenne Boys and Girls Club was undergoing a very difficult time. There were challenges in the club facility and where it was located down on 17th and Schneider. There was no outdoor rec space. We had difficulties with staffing issues. There were issues with financial issues. In fact, as I was recalling last evening when I was thinking about this, through all the variety of the challenges that were taking place at that time, there was actually even discussion about closing the club down. And it really was not that old at that time, and it really hadn't had a chance to blossom, but it was just not a very pretty situation. And at that time, a group of existing Boys and Girls Club supporters from the board and in the community, along with some new folks, really got together and really made the commitment to not close the club down, but to really focus on making the club realize its full potential. I would say that some of those folks came along on that mission very voluntarily, and there were others in the community that were strongly suggested to get involved, we'll put it that way. But that is really where the legacy of Anthony and Barbara Andrikopoulos begins with the Boys and Girls Club. We had a lot of activity going on. We were trying to make some things happen. We were reaching out and getting more and more people involved. We were making progress, but we had a lot of big challenges ahead of us. And after hearing about this, Andy contacted me and asked me to come over to the office to spend some time with he and Bill Scribner, who, by the way, is another great supporter of the club. And they asked me to come over, and I went to the office, and I sat down, and Andy was kind of like, well, what is this Boys and Girls Club? What's it about? And what is it you're doing? Why, what's happening? And so I had spent some time with the club down in Atlanta, Georgia, and in Cobb County, and had gotten involved with the club here. And I went about explaining what was going on and the challenges. We were having trouble getting kids to the club of where it was located from schools after school. There were just a variety of things. So I went through, and they asked a lot of questions, and I answered them and explained to them what we were wanting to do. And at the end of the meeting, after I had gone through everything, Andy said to me 7 magic words that for those of you that raise money for charitable interests and community and are focused on getting things done, they were 7 words that were very powerful, and they were simply, what can we do to help you? And when I look back at that, not only was it transformational to me, being out there, working, trying to make things happen, and to the rest of our group, but it was transformational to the club, literally. And shortly thereafter, I went over, and Andy had me go through everything with Barbara, and she became very involved. And in fact, as I recall, she was very interested in the Youth of the Year program and the power of the Youth of the Year program and the art programs and those types of things. But they began to invite others over to their house, and I would give a presentation of what the club was all about, and they truly became champions of the club. And they were truly transformational to what we were attempting to do. Initially, they helped us solve some of our transportation issues of getting the kids to the club down on 17th and Central. They helped us acquire 2 very nice buses. Before that, we were driving around these little, like the old vans on the beach. that you remember. We were driving those around trying to pick kids up at the different schools and get them to club and going back and forth. And finally, we had these beautiful, nice buses that were available to us to fit several kids on at once. Nice, safe. The brakes worked. The tires were good. And then we had the opportunity to strike a deal on a piece of property where the current club is today, which really would help us capture the vision and the mission and the purpose of the Boys and Girls Club, which was to, combine outdoor recreation and healthy lifestyles with academic success and character and leadership development. And Anthony and Barbara gave us the lead gift for that capital campaign, which we used as a match to get a CDBG grant in order to acquire the property that we had this vision of developing. I think it was roughly, I forget, Relinda, 12 and a half acres. So they became, just regular, huge supporters of the club. By then, this Back at Kid Breakfast had, grown to like 400, 500, 600 people. They were always very engaged with it, Dancing with the Stars, all of our fundraising programs. And as I mentioned, Barbara got very involved with Youth of the Year and that type of thing. But the club's academic success program was very close to Andy's heart. He himself, earlier in life had experienced some challenges, and he understood, what it was like for a kid having a difficult time learning. And so he became very supportive of those programs and very interested in them. And, you would even get to the point where he was giving tours of the new club facility to people that came to town, his family, his daughter, and just really, the engagement with the club, again, I hate to use the word over and over, but was literally transformational. Later in 2019, Barbara has continued to stay engaged since Anthony's passing, and she introduced her granddaughter, Amanda Fisk here, who took her on a tour of the club, and that resulted in Amanda becoming the grants manager for the club today. So the tradition of supporting the club has continued. Ultimately, Anthony, before his passing, granted a legacy gift to the club. He gave it in an unrestricted fashion, but was very interested in seeing it used on a long-term basis. The board of the club at that time took the grant, his legacy grant, and used that as, again, a cornerstone of an endowment fund for the club that will keep on giving forever. And since that time, that those monies have been restricted and are to be used, long-term for the club. So I can't tell you enough about, again, those 7 words, what can we do to help you, and how transformational they are. And even today, if we just think about walking out of this room today and considering the Boys and Girls Club with the mentality, or anything we do today, the rest of the day, when we approach others, what can we do to help you? Unilaterally, unasked for, unsolicited, it's a very powerful and transformative sentence. And I thank Anthony and Barbara. They made my job at that time with the club, and the rest of the board who was involved, and all the other staff and members. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts for all that you've done and that you continue to do, and your involvement and interest in the club, and hope that we can have more and more Anthony and Barbara's as time passes, that truly in their hearts have the feeling of what can we do to help you. And I thank you for that, and I know the club thanks you. And at this time, Barbara, if I could have you come up. We have an original pastel painting titled Snowy Range Lakes by Janet Larson, who, by the way, is not the work of a club kid. And the painting was picked out by Amanda for Barbara. Andy liked to go fishing, which I did with him quite a few times. And Barbara likes fine art, so the lakes and the beauty of this painting are a perfect recognition gift, Barbara, to you and Anthony for your support of the club, and that's quite beautiful,
Oh,
actually.
that is beautiful.
Why don't you just,
Oh, that is beautiful. I had some things I was going to say, but I think Sam said it all. So I will just say thank you so much for this honor. And do you want me to read that?
that's up to you.
I don't think so. I think you said it all. So thank you so much, and it's just, I love the club. It's so nice of everybody to be here, and I'm so pleased with my granddaughter Amanda working here. And Amanda, why don't you stand up? So, thank you, Sam. It's just the most wonderful thing in Cheyenne, I think, to see these young children come in and youngsters come in. Oh, I should be closer. And it just turns around their lives. It's just wonderful, and I appreciate this so much. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Barbara, it is truly a pleasure to recognize you and Andy this morning for your commitment to helping the club youth. What can we do to help you is such a simple phrase, but yet so impactful, and it's proven out at our club, so thank you so much. As Sam noted, the Youth of the Year program is a favorite of many in the community. The Youth of the Year program exemplifies the work staff does every day in shaping the lives of our youth. It is so important that we recognize and encourage members and help them reach their goals. And it's my pleasure to introduce the Youth of the Year from the Boys and Girls Club of Cheyenne, Riley Jane Anderson.
Confident, caring, determined, and optimistic. These are all words that define me. But I wasn't always this way. In fact, a lot of who I am is affected by how I was raised, the activities I'm a part of, the people that support me, and many other things. The Boys and Girls Club has helped me figure out who I am and has helped me find out what I want to do with my future. Boys and Girls Club has given me many opportunities to become a better version of myself, see what I can do with my strengths, and become a better person. I'm confident. Although I wasn't always this way, the Boys and Girls Club has shown me that I do have a voice. I was quiet, lonely, and scared of speaking out, but now I have the power to change lives. The club has helped me build confidence in myself by showing me what I can do with my voice. Before, I didn't even know that I had one. This has helped me build confidence in myself by learning and seeing a new side of me, and I'm now becoming the best version of myself. I'm caring. My mom had me when she was 16 years old, and for most of my life, she has raised 4 children on her own. Watching my mom as a single parent has empowered me to find my inner strength and know that I can accomplish anything that I put my mind to. Because she has balanced 4 children, she has shown me to be more empathetic, kind, and patient. I am determined. The Boys and Girls Club has made me resolved by teaching me how to keep up with my grades and has driven me to join the IB program at East High School. I'm also determined because I want to prove to myself I can be a better person than the 3 father figures that I've had in my life. I can prove myself that I can be a better human than what they have shown me. I'm optimistic. Before I started coming to the club, I was pessimistic, but the Boys and Girls Club helped me look to the future and on the bright side of things, and has shown me that I can make a difference. I have now started to see things from a new perspective, and I think that it's important to keep moving forward than staying in the past. I believe that if you mess up, it's okay, but you need to try harder to fix and learn from your mistakes. The Boys and Girls Club has given me many opportunities to get a taste of what I will be doing in my next few years and what I can accomplish as an adult. I am confident, caring, determined, and optimistic. I have a voice, and I am being heard. The Boys and Girls Club makes sure that I'm on the right path and that I belong. As quoted by Malala Yousafzai, when the whole world is silent, even one voice becomes powerful. I am just a young girl from Cheyenne, Wyoming, but the Boys and Girls Club has shown me that I do have a voice, and I can make a difference. Thank you.
Riley, once again, great job. Every time I watch that, it's so inspiring, and this young lady has a very bright future, and she's going to be a great leader for our community, or wherever she lands. She's going to have a great future and continue this legacy of the Boys and Girls Club. So thanks, Riley, for everything. All right, let me find my place on the script here. All right, so we're very proud of the accomplishments the club has made recently to better the lives of Cheyenne youth. Another one of our priorities has always been healthy lifestyles, and the club focuses on risky behaviors, prevention, and activities sponsored by the Cheyenne Regional Medical Center, and healthy habits, nutrition, and suicide prevention programs sponsored by the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Wyoming Caring Foundation. The club combines these programs with physical activity, including sports and dance. Our club members enjoy the opportunity to perform at the Dancing with the Stars of Cheyenne. I don't know if you've all probably been to the event, which we'll talk about. It has been moved from this October, unfortunately, until May 21st, the Dancing with the Stars. But one of the highlights of that event is always watching the club members do their dance, and we always look forward to that. So anyway, mark your calendars. We are going to have that event on May 21st right here at Little America. The Dancing with the Stars is presented by Taco John's International, and we thank them for their support as well. So we hope you can join us in May. I'm going to ask Rolinda to come up now and give us a few words. But as she's walking up here, I think now is a great time to recognize our staff. And we talked about Amanda already, and that's thank you for being here, and you're doing a great job. We appreciate you being part of the club. We have many other staff members here too. I think Laura was here. If there's any staff members that are out here, just go ahead and stand up for us. None of this happens without these people, and they are such hard workers. I mean, through all this COVID pandemic stuff, you know, they had to change everything in how we operate, as you know. I mean, down to opening the front door. I mean, it's just... they did such a fantastic job in creating, you know, a place, whether it was virtual or whether it was our brick and mortar, but there was still a place for our youth. And it's because of this staff that we've got that this club is so effective. So thanks to the staff.
Thank you, Mike. I would also like to recognize our volunteers and thank them so much for helping us make today another great celebration. We also had the Miss Wyoming group who is out delivering breakfast to our virtual attendees, our sponsors, and so we appreciate that. I would like to give a very special thank you to Wendy Fanning. And she's in the back of the room. Wendy has worked tirelessly since COVID, and she has worked on numerous occasions to making sure that our donors were thanked and recognized throughout this time. And she's not only planned events, but she's replanned events. And so I wanted to thank you, Wendy, for all of that. And again, I'd like to recognize Amanda. Not only is it her birthday today, But we are very proud of her for joining us at the Boys and Girls Club, and she has worked tirelessly as well. We've had a lot of grants during this COVID time that we wrote, as well as reporting to do, and she has done a great job, so thank you. During 2019, the Boys and Girls Club has provided services to 779 youth ages 6 to 18 for $10 a year. Thus far in 2020, 412 youth have walked through our doors. Even during the COVID-related closures, staff have offered virtual mentoring and activities to our youth to making sure that they were supported and safe. These efforts were led by Justin Pendleton, Laura Malone, Jeremiah Murphy, Jennifer Bell, Carrie Zimmerman, and Nicole Perez. Each member of our staff filled a very important role in communication, safety, and quality of programming. Thank you to the few staff who are here today, but I will tell you we have many other staff who are joining us virtually, since we have kids at the club this morning, and that's unusual for us, usually at our back-a-kid, but our kids and our staff are watching us today as well. Our Cole Elementary and LCCC sites remain closed. However, reopening plans are in various stages of approval. Our West Jefferson site opened 3 weeks at the end of school year so that we were able to help our kids do their remote learning. These kids that we opened to first were children of essential workers, so their parents could be on the front lines. Our West Jefferson site hosted youth who needed us most for the summer program beginning on June 8th, and this is our 10th and final week of our summer program. Though we are operating at 35% of our normal capacity, we have 100% of our staff who are working daily to support our kids and maintaining their safety. The Academic Success Program remains a priority for us, as our youth have struggled to finish school this year and as they join back into the classroom in a few weeks. Club-wide, we help support the kids so that they were up on their academics throughout the summer, and we really try to help reduce that summer learning loss. I would really like to thank Holly Frontier, who has been a continual sponsor for the past 10 years for us as we have continued to support that educational efforts. We recently celebrated a club member, Drake, and his national award-winning photography. Even with masks, smiles were all around. We hosted the regional art and photography show this year, even when our club was closed and there were no kids. I would like to give a special recognition to Tess Burns, our art coordinator, who made that happen even during our COVID environment. Our teens continue to work on their career exploration and development. We are helping them with their employment skills, which is vitally important. From entrepreneurship camp to last week, we had Microsoft Tech Spark and the Cheyenne Rotary Club sponsored high altitude balloon launch. With this balloon going over 92,000 feet in the air and landing over by Egbert, we had a great time. We've had neighborhood night out where our kids have been able to visit with law enforcement about their careers. We've also had Art Cheyenne and the Arts Inventory, where we have given our kids opportunities to have an internship and learn about the community. We know that the possibilities are endless for our youth. On July 31st, we welcomed a new addition to the club, and you will see in front of the podium the tabletop version. Artist Chris Navarro was in attendance and shared about his career path from rodeo to an acclaimed artist. We dedicated the monumental statue entitled Dare to Dream Big. which was generously donated by Tom and Dixie Roberts. I encourage all of you to stop by the club and see this monumental statue. It is a beautiful piece in front of our club. It shows the kitten with the power of belief and looking in the mirror and seeing a lion. Thank you to Tom and Dixie, who are joining us virtually this morning, for helping us all to dream big. Our Cole and Hebert site at Cole Elementary has been a wonderful partnership. We continue to do great work because of the support through the Wyoming Department of Education and our 21st Century Learning Center. We also have partnerships with United Way of Laramie County's community schools and the school district. Cole Principal Chris Klopfenstein has been very, very supportive of all of our efforts in helping his students. We really focus on academic achievement, and all of our kids at Cole and Hebert need that as much as any other kids in our community. I am proud to let you know that our Cole kids reported a 3% increase in their optimal club experience this year. And so that really looks at safety, it looks at connections with staff, it looks at their goals toward graduation and further achievement. So that is a great accomplishment. We continue to look forward to school starting this fall, and we are ready to adjust our programming and our capacity as needed. We continue to assist the youth and their academics, as well as their social and emotional support. Our club truly plays a crucial role in providing affordable, safe place, assuring that all the kids who need us most have a wonderful place in the Boys and Girls Club. And thank you all for making sure that that is a reality.
All right, so I think we're to the point that we've all been waiting for, right? This morning we have a very special guest, and we have the opportunity to hear from another Boys and Girls Club Youth of the Year. Michelle? Okay. Mona Dixon and her family were homeless until she turned 13. And shortly thereafter, she received the Boys and Girls Club of America National Youth of the Year. At 18, Mona was also named one of the most influential black women by Essence magazine. Mona was later appointed by then-President Obama to serve as the youngest member of a U.S. Presidential Community Service Committee alongside 4 other distinguished individuals. Mona is currently pursuing her doctoral degree in organizational leadership. It is my pleasure to welcome a person who has truly lived the Boys and Girls Club experience and felt its impact. Mona, welcome.
Good morning, everyone. You can do a little bit better than that. I'm not a morning person, but you guys do this every year. So let's try that again. Good morning, everyone. There we go. Well, it's a pleasure and an honor for me to be with you all today in order to share my story of how the Boys and Girls Club has impacted my life and took me from being homeless to where I am today, and just to reinforce, Riley's story and how the impact of the Boys and Girls Club continues to have this impact over and over and over again on the lives of our children. Similar to you, Riley, my mom had my sister at 16 years old, and she had me at 17 years old and my brother not too long after, and she was actually raised by her grandparents until they actually passed away, and that's how we ended up homeless on the streets. And I always talk about how I remember going into dumpsters and we'd pull out cardboard boxes because that would be our bed for the night. And my mom, she would take off her jacket and she would cover my 2 siblings and I to try to keep us as warm as possible in that situation. But despite wherever we lived, my mom always taught me that my education was going to be the way out. And I remember opening up Ziploc baggies full of school books, and I would read them under the street lamps, and I would do my homework, and I would imagine myself as these characters to kind of make myself feel safe in these situations. And as you can imagine, it was very hard being homeless, but it was even harder trying to make it to school every day because we didn't necessarily have the money to get there on public transportation. And once I got to school, you could imagine, I often wondered, how did teachers expect me to think about a hard math problem or a hard vocabulary word when I was thinking about where my next meal is coming from, or if my family's okay, or better yet, where am I going to lay my head at night? It was even harder when teachers would ask questions like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And all these kids would raise their hands and say what they wanted to be, and the teacher would give them all these words of encouragement. But when I gave my answer, it was almost as if I could see doubt in their eyes at that time of, how could you possibly want to be something like that and you don't have a support system? Or how could you possibly want to be something like that and you don't have two parents at home? Or how could you possibly want to be something like that and you don't even have a place to lay your head at night? But my mom told me it wasn't going to be about my obstacles that make me special, because everybody has them in their own forms. But it was going to be about the way that I overcame each of these obstacles that was going to make me stand out in the world. And all of this changed when I finally got to go to the Boys and Girls Club. And I used to be shy. Not anymore. I could talk to you forever, but I know you guys probably have a lot of plans for the rest of the day. But I actually built up the courage to go there one day to the Boys and Girls Club, and I asked, what does it take for me to become a member here? But in kid words, can I come in? What do I got to do? And they said, well, you have to bring back this, membership form and this $20 fee. And for me, I was like, okay, and I took the form, and I was going to walk out and never come back because I knew that I couldn't afford that small fee, even though it was for the entire year and very affordable for me to go there. My mom could have spent that money on toilet paper or toothpaste or laundry, even, things from the dollar store that would have helped us move forward in life. And I was going to walk out, and it was almost as if that lady sensed it, and she said, wait, come back. And she told me, you know what, just bring back that form and we'll take care of the rest. And she ended up paying for my membership fee, and I talk about how that changed the rest of my entire life, as you heard from Mike already today. And when I walked into those Boys and Girls Club doors, it changed my entire life. I had an additional family. When I was hungry, I had a place where I could eat. I felt welcomed every single day. I was able to participate in all these different programs for free, which was funny because yesterday I got to speak at the Boys and Girls Club and talk to the teens. And one of the teens I asked, I said, hey, do you guys get to participate in some of the programs that I used to be in, by the way? And she said, well, yeah, we have to, because if we don't participate, we get in trouble. And everyone started cracking up. But I love that. And I told her, I said, well, right now you might not understand, or you might not think, you're learning much from all of these. But 10 years later down the line, when you're like me, you'll understand and appreciate them making you participate in all these different programs. But alongside of some of those programs they talked about, I learned about how, financial literacy through Money Matters, which is very, very important. So I didn't go into college and dig myself in a hole for a free credit card and pizza and a t-shirt in college, because I learned from Money Matters that wasn't a smart thing to do. But of course I would have done that if I didn't learn that from the Boys and Girls Club. And we learned about how to give back to our communities through the Keystone Club, and how to explore different career fields before we decided to go to college in those fields. And I learned how to play basketball at the Boys and Girls Club. I learned how to be kind to people and not judge people while going to the Boys and Girls Club. But you learn without even knowing that you're learning there. And kids, it doesn't feel like you're going to school and then you're learning more at the Boys and Girls Club. You're having fun, but they're building you up inside and out. And that's why I absolutely love the Boys and Girls Club. But the thing that impacted me the most was that the Boys and Girls Club was open until 9 p.m. so I could get ahead of my college courses while I was in high school. And I just still remember being there in the computer lab and working on my homework, and I would have tutors there that would tutor me in all types of subjects, including Spanish. But the Boys and Girls Club helped me to be successful in school. It helped me to get those scholarships that I needed to go to college, like my mom told me I needed to do. And I ended up graduating from high school, third in my high school class. And then from there, I went on to become the National Youth of the Year for Boys and Girls Clubs of America. And what that entailed was, first it entailed me getting over my fear of heights and getting on an airplane and flying, which I'd never done before. Before it was just a Greyhound bus, but I get to speak all over the country on behalf of all the kids that we serve that walk through the doors of the Boys and Girls Club every day. And as they mentioned, I was recognized in the Oval Office by the President of the United States, and that was a blessing for me. And a lot of people always ask me, Mona, what did you say? And I'm like, nothing, because I was just so surprised with being in there, and because I was 17 years old, and just 4 years before that, I was actually living in a homeless shelter. So I know if I would have, I didn't even believe it myself, but if I would have told some friends or anybody else, hey, in 4 years I'm going to meet in the Oval Office with the president, they'd probably be like, nuh-uh, you're lying, these kids, what we say to each other. But it happened, and it happened because of the Boys and Girls Club, and I wouldn't have been there if I didn't walk into those club doors a few years before that. And with that, I had some pretty cool experiences. For those of you who don't know, Denzel Washington is our national spokesperson for Boys and Girls Clubs of America and has been so for 27 years, so I've got to do a couple of events with him. I've been recognized by LeBron James, which is really cool. And most importantly, I got to be in a commercial with Mark Wahlberg that helped raise over $1 million for teens to graduate from high school. And before, I used to be ashamed of my story. I didn't want to tell people that I was homeless. I didn't want that stigma to be on me or for people to judge me because of my past. But through the Youth of the Year program, as Riley spoke about, it gave me a voice. And it taught me that through my story, I can empower and inspire other people and give hope to other people. And it's turned into something that I can do all the time and all over the country. And I'm blessed to be able to do that through the Boys and Girls Club. But most importantly, I was able to get over $100,000 in scholarships through the Boys and Girls Club Youth of the Year program, which allowed me to get my bachelor's in business management, my master's in communication studies with an emphasis in advocacy. And right now I'm working on organizational leadership for my doctorate so that I can help more nonprofit organizations, especially the Boys and Girls Club, raise more money to continue to fulfill their mission. And so many people ask me, Mona, why do you continue to go to school? Because you don't have to do that to be a motivational speaker or to travel all over. And I say, well, because knowledge is power, right? And I feel like if I get as much knowledge as possible, it will not only take me away from, or take away those chances of me ending up homeless again as much as possible, but allows me to make a difference in the world, because when you know better, you do better. But then I also talk about how natural disasters come and they can make people homeless. And even in the United States, COVID is almost a natural disaster for many people. And things can come, they can take away our house, they can take away our car, all our material possessions, but what they can't take away is our knowledge or our soft skills or our ability to bounce back, our resilience. And that's what I get when I go to school every day, and that's why I continue to go through. But, none of these things that I talked to you about today would be possible without my Boys and Girls Club. I wouldn't be standing before you today. If we didn't have individuals like Mrs. Barbara and Mr. Anthony, I would not be standing here today. If you didn't open up these Boys and Girls Club doors, you won't have people like Riley or all the kids that are gonna look up to them later on down the road. You wouldn't have these places if it wasn't for all of you who are sitting in this room today. And for that, I want to thank you for investing in the lives of youth. And I just can show you, if I'm not the perfect example, of what your dollars are going to do and what your impact and what your investment is going to do for these kids, 10 and 20 and 30 years later down the line. You never know what these kids are going to be when you see them running around, or whether they're going to be our next teachers or our doctors, our lawyers, or the next president of the United States, but they're going to be something, because the Boys and Girls Club truly does give them great futures. And Boys and Girls Clubs of America, they truly just take on this mantra that says, we're going to do whatever it takes. And although I knew COVID was a big mess, I wasn't so afraid for kids, because I knew that they would have a place to go during these times. And that's the same thing here for Boys and Girls Club of Cheyenne. They were only closed for a couple of months, but during that time, they had virtual programs and they had food, because sometimes that's the only time a kid may have food during the summertime, is going through those Boys and Girls Club doors. And they knew that, and they still were there for these kids. And I know that the Boys and Girls Club, out of all places, knows how to adapt to these situations and continue to nourish and take care of these kids and their families as well, providing these food boxes. So I just want to thank the Boys and Girls Club for continuing to be there, and I know that they're going to continue to do so with your support. So I just want to thank you for that, and for you all doing whatever it takes to continue to invest in this wonderful organization. But with that being said, today, I said I don't want to keep you too long, but we are asking you to invest in the futures of these youth. And like we mentioned before, if you'd write a check, then you can do that on your way out and turn that in. But also on your tables, if you text the BAK, so Back a Kid 2020, and there's the number you text it to, then you can donate digitally, and for you all virtually as well. And then you can also go online and do that. But there's set limits that you can give at, but we want you to give whatever your heart desires and whatever your heart is telling you to do. But we want you to know that every single dollar counts. I talked to you today about how that $20 changed the rest of my life. So today I'm just asking each and every one of you to at least back one kid, because that one kid will make a difference in the world and continue to have this impact. But thank you all for allowing me to share my story with you all today. It's been a pleasure and an honor to be with you all. Happy birthday to you, Amanda. Thank you again to your grandparents, Mrs. Barbara and Mr. Anthony. And thank you all for allowing me to share this beautiful morning with you. Thank you, and God bless.
I want to thank you so much for sharing your story. What a great story, and a great example of what we try to do at the Boys and Girls Club every day. And thanks for your continued support of the movement. It's great. So thank you for your generous donations today. As you make those pledges, we're going to pledge to you that we're going to continue to make a difference in the lives of our youth here in Cheyenne. So thank you for that. I think you've heard, but there's that box in the back if you want to drop a check in there as well. So anyway, thank you this morning. Thank you for being here. A little smaller crowd, but a great crowd. And thanks to everyone that's watching virtually, and hi to all the members that are back at the club, watching. We're glad you're there. And everybody drives safely getting home. You won't have as much traffic to get through. Thank you.